Hello, my name is Andy Geniak, and as principal of West Hills Middle School, I'd like to welcome you to our West Hills National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony. In the planning leading up to this ceremony, we made a difficult decision to hold this ceremony virtually again this year. This decision, ironically, aligns with the essay topic our candidates wrote about as part of meeting the criteria for induction into NJHS, adversity and resilience. I wanted to be sure to thank a few people who have made this event possible. Thank you to Mr. Castellani, our 8th grade counselor. The tireless efforts of Mr. Castellani shines through in all that he does. The detailed planning and preparation that goes into the induction process is immense, and we thank him for his efforts. Thank you, teachers. Thank you for being there for your students through an incredibly difficult school year. As I think about all of the different models of instruction we implemented this year, our teachers have been there celebrating student learning every step of the way. Thank you, Vicki Chandler, for making this video possible. We appreciate your efforts to support all of our students as the district's digital media coordinator. Thank you to our special guest speaker, Lindsay Zalisman. As a current Bloomfield Hills High School student and soon to be senior, Lindsay will be sharing her journey as a leader in the Bloomfield Hills community. As I think back to how I remember Lindsay as a WHMS student, I can't help but remember the positive energy she brought on a daily basis to the hallways of West Hills. As a dedicated member of the Leadership Club, she engaged in many activities designed to make our school a better place to be for all students. Finally, a few thoughts about NJHS. While the initial reaction as to what constitutes membership in NJHS may lead us to think solely about academics, induction into the society truly encompasses much more. The foundational pillars of the society include 5 key components. These components have guided chapters of NJHS from the beginning. To create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate a desire for service to others, to promote leadership, to encourage responsible citizenship, and to develop character in middle school students. These purposes also translate into the criteria used for membership selection in each local chapter, including ours at West Hills. Over the course of this video, you will hear from some of our NJHS candidates describing their experiences at West Hills and what it takes to be a part of the National Junior Honor Society. As we get started, I offer my congratulations to all of our candidates for their dedication shown during their years at West Hills, whether in person or virtually, to develop as a balanced, well-rounded citizen exemplifying the 5 pillars of scholarship, leadership, service, citizenship, and character. I encourage you to continue to exemplify these traits today, tomorrow, and beyond.
Thank you, Mr. Geniak. In the past, West Hills has held our NJHS ceremonies in person. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that this year. This is just one of the many things we've had to go without during this time. However, we did manage to add some extra special things that we wouldn't be able to do during a live ceremony. With that in mind, we are very excited and honored to have a special guest with us, our school district leader and visionary, who has worked tirelessly to guide us through these unprecedented times. Please welcome Superintendent Watson.
Hello, 8th graders, and congratulations to the members of the National Junior Honor Society. What a challenging year you all have made it through. On top of all the challenges of COVID, of 7 first days of school, you still had the opportunity and the drive to go forward and become a National Junior Honor Society member. You represent the pillars of scholarship, leadership, service, citizenship, and character. On behalf of Bloomfield Hills Schools, thank you and congratulations, and I hope you have a great summer, and I look forward to seeing you next year at Bloomfield Hills High School. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's hard to believe that it was almost 5 years ago that we entered the halls of West Hills as 4th graders. In some ways, it seems like a lifetime ago, but at the same time, it feels like just yesterday We were coming in with our parents, looking in awe of how new and big everything and everybody seemed, and desperately trying to find our 4th grade teachers' classrooms. But we soon found the nameplates on our desk, got to know our teachers and each other, and West Hills very quickly became home.
Our 4th and 5th grade experiences gave us the security we needed and the opportunities to grow. We were able to experience the comfort of having the one classroom teacher, a consistent daily set of classmates, the comfort of our own desk, and thankfully still have all the important recess. However, we were also able to seek opportunities such as newspaper club, leadership, specials classes, and many others. And of course, as 9-year-olds, how cool was it to have our own locker and eat in what seemed like a giant cafeteria with endless food options?
Our 4th and 5th grade years passed quickly with some very memorable culminating experiences. Who could forget field day with carnival with all of the games, the dunk tank, the bounce houses, and spring weather? And the evening where we stood in front of the entire community and delivered our 5th grade exhibition presentations that we all worked so hard to prepare for. Music's concerts, the Veterans Day program, and of course, 5th grade recognition. And it all went by so fast that before we knew it, we were knocking on the door of our middle school years right down the hall.
As we began our middle school years in 6th grade, we were ready for all the opportunities that came our way. Whereas the security of one classroom was great when we entered West Hills in grade 4, switching classes every hour, having 2 different unified art courses every A and B day, getting to know many different teachers, and being with different kids every hour was a welcome change. And as our classes expanded, our other opportunities expanded. We now had over a dozen clubs available, 4 sports seasons, and different unified art courses to choose from. And we took advantage of all this and made great memories.
Our middle school years were also full of many highlights. Sports competitions, music concerts, plays and musicals, the religious diversity journey, forensics competitions, robotics competitions, and many more wonderful experiences. Through it all, we can look back with a sense of pride and gratitude, both for all our middle school experiences and what brings us to our National Junior Honor Society membership today. And though some of our experiences were taken from us due to the pandemic, we persevered through it all while finding new ways to connect with others and new experiences at home and at school.
It is also important that we remember the service we've performed and the differences we have made in our school and our world to become members of the National Junior Honor Society. Sometimes that service has been within the school walls in the form of fundraisers, book drives, toy donation drives, and in the donation of essential items such as winter wear and food. But we have all also ventured into our greater communities, doing hands-on service at places such as Gleaners, the Red Cross, American House, Habitat for Humanity, and the Friendship Circle. We can be proud of what we have accomplished while also recognizing that there is so much more to do. And we reflect upon our past acts of service, not to congratulate ourselves, but as a call to action for the future. As the NJHS leaders and scholars of today, we will inherit a world tomorrow that needs our time, our talents, and our energy to nourish its environment and to make it a place where there is justice, compassion, equality, resources, and opportunities for everyone.
Before we move on to the next part of our program, we should also reflect on the unique challenges of this school year and hopes as it brings as we enter 9th grade. Rather than coming into school this past September, we began the year by zooming into our classes while in remote learning. Then we quickly shifted to hybrid learning, which brought us some, but still with the unique challenges of many hours of independent asynchronous learning. Then we faced another period of remote learning, followed again by a hybrid learning period. And finally, in late March, we returned full face-to-face, which presented both challenges for our in-person and our remote peers.
There appears to be some hope and some light ahead. While there were many obstacles, we were able to maintain full face-to-face learning in school throughout the spring. Spring sports returned, even though they looked a bit different than before. Milestone events such as 8th grade recognition, which is happening next week, returned. And so there is hope that as we arrive at BHS in the fall, the next school year is poised to be much better than the last. And now, Ms. Palmieri, our Associate Principal, will say a few words about the National Junior Honor Society.
Hello, everybody. It is with heartfelt enthusiasm that I describe what each of our 40 student candidates had to accomplish in order to qualify for induction and membership into the West Hills chapter of the National Junior Honor Society. Each student that we are recognizing in this video pledged in September to take on the NJHS Challenge, earned a grade point average of 3.5 or above during their 8th grade year, earned high marks on the report card for citizenship and effort, completed and documented 2 service and action experiences, completed a minimum of 500-word reflective essay on the topic of challenge, resilience, and redemption. And most importantly, each student pledged to follow and followed through on commitment to display consistent and exemplary character throughout the entire school year. For those reasons, they have rightfully earned membership into the National Junior Honor Society. In taking on this NJHS challenge and commitment, these students have shown it is not only important to be a great student, but it is important to make a great difference by giving back to their community. These are the leaders of tomorrow who will serve, give back, and change their world and embody the spirit of the famous Margaret Mead, "Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed, that's all who ever have." And this group of 43 students throughout their time at West Hills has shown outstanding leadership and involvement in our school community as well. In your time at West Hills, you have participated in many band, orchestra, and choir concerts, multiple sports teams, the school play, multiple clubs, student leadership, the forensics team, robotics, and really everything West Hills has to offer. For that, be proud of yourselves. And together, they have completed more than 100 acts of service. You are an unbelievable group of difference makers. At this time, then, I would like to introduce Madison Brode, our next student program assistant, who will introduce our guest speaker.
It is an honor to have West Hills alumnus Lindsay Zalisman with us today. She is very excited to be speaking today. Lindsay is a rising senior at Bloomfield Hills High School. Lindsay has also kept very busy in leadership and service during her time at BHHS. She has been active in student leadership for the past 4 years and will be serving as the student body president during the 2021 to 2022 school year. She also serves as editor-in-chief of the Hawkeye newspaper, the captain of the Palms team, an active member of the forensics team, student advisory committee, Key Club, National Honor Society, Jewish Student Alliance, and Count Me In. Lindsay also loves writing and working with kids and plans to explore many different career options and opportunities in the future. Wherever she lands, she is sure to be a success and certain to make a huge difference in this world. Please enjoy our guest speaker, Lindsay Zalisman.
In the next 4 years, you're going to experience countless milestones. Your first school dance, high school football games, joining various clubs and trying out for your sports team, building relationships with teachers, meeting new peers, and something maybe you haven't thought so much about, but many of you will experience, driver's ed. Now, not to say I'm the best driver. My friends call me grandma because I drive 10 miles under the speed limit. No disrespect to any of the lovely grandmas out there. And I barely passed my written test. But there was one message in particular during this course that stuck out to me. If a vehicle comes your way, you can always swerve faster than you can stop. Around this time last year, I asked my leadership advisor if she thought I should apply to be on the State Board of Delegates, a leadership team that represents schools from all across the state of Michigan, and she thought I would be a great fit. I submitted my resume, asked my principal to write a recommendation, and entered that interview nervous, yet ecstatic to apply for this position that would likely be making a difference in 10 times as many lives as the leadership class at my school. I was confident in my interview, friendly with the staff of the organization, and was waiting anxiously to see if I was granted a position. So midway through quarantine, when I got the email, I opened it right away. I was reading rapidly and realized that they were not able to offer me a spot on their board. I was embarrassed, devastated, and doubting myself. However, looking back on that moment over a year ago, I realized how much of a blessing in disguise that actually was. All of their meetings were virtual, and I would have struggled to create lasting relationships and work with people all over the state virtually, while also experiencing Zoom fatigue, something we all struggled with from online school. On top of that, I had the opportunity to become even more involved with Bloomfield student leadership, chasing more projects I was passionate about, running for positions that I felt fit me, being part of groups that I loved, and taking an active role in our school and community. So when the president of the board, who interviewed me last year, reached out to ask if I was interested in applying again, I kindly declined. Instead, I asked one of the sophomores in my student leadership class who I thought would be perfect for the role if it interested him, and I recommended him. This was not meant to be petty, but I had already fallen in love with my contribution to Bloomfield, and I decided that it was not worthy to sacrifice something that fell perfectly into place after this blessing in disguise. Looking back, this rejection was so clearly redirection, and I am thankful that when I did come in contact with an obstacle, I swerved in an alternate direction instead of stopping my participation in an organization where my heart belonged. High school is full of ups and downs, and ahead of you are so many incredible opportunities. It may sound scary, but meaningful experiences and lessons to learn are awaiting, and you should all be excited to approach them. Not only are you going to learn biology and algebra, time management, making wise decisions, how to be part of a team, and branching out to make new friends, but you're also going to learn so much about yourself. Strengths and weaknesses, what you are interested in, who you blend well with, and what you want in your future. Through all of these moments, my advice to you is to stay true to yourself, be open to new possibilities, and whenever things seem uncertain, remember that you are heading in the right direction. Throughout this next journey in your life, you're going to reach forks in the road and look at different signs and not know what they mean. You're going to end up on paths that you didn't intend to and also reach points of satisfaction and reward. You will learn how to handle struggles and see what you are capable of. I'm certain it is more than you think. Everyone you aspire to be, whether it's one of your parents or family members, Steve Jobs, Kevin Durant, Selena Gomez, Adam Sandler, you name it, started right here. You have the power to make all of your dreams come true. This future is yours, and there is no right path. You don't have to go with a date to any dance. You don't ever have to be in a stable group of friends. I never was. You don't have to eat in a certain spot for lunch. There are even very few classes that you are required to take. You find your niche, whether that be a club, sport, class, there are endless options. There will always be people who doubt you and obstacles to conquer, but the destination would never be worth it if there wasn't a journey. After all, a couple years ago, I told my family that I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and they all laughed. But here I am, starting to live out that dream. Among us are the next people to change the world. So 13 or 14 years ago, your parents started to watch this incredible story unfold. Think about how much you have learned in the past almost decade and a half, and how much more you have to learn around the corner. Your accomplishments are worth celebrating, and so are the opportunities ahead. And as you all go blossom into these incredible characters and gain more knowledge, never forget your roots and where you came from. I can't wait to see you all on Andover Road and Main Street. Congratulations, we are all so proud of you, and I can guarantee that in the next chapter of your life, there's even more good to come. Just promise me that no matter what hits you, you will always swerve and never stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay, for your genuine words of inspiration. We will carry them as we embark on our next journey at BHSTV. The purpose of this video is to recognize and induct new members into the West Hills Middle School chapter of the National Junior Honor Society. The cornerstones of membership in the National Junior Honor Society are scholarship, citizenship, service, leadership, and character. And although we are and do, we strive to embody these ideals in our lives every day in ways big and small, ordinary and extraordinary.
The purpose of this society is to promote these 5 ideals. Our aim is to encourage prospective members to aspire to scholarly habits, to develop qualities of citizenship, to enlist in meaningful service in the school and the community, to lead in those areas that will advance the well-being of our school and community, and to gain qualities of character. Therefore, membership in the NJHS becomes not simply an accolade, but part of who we are. At this time, we will begin the candle lighting ceremony with the lighting of the lavender candle, and then Jonah Wittenberg and Emily Kruger will speak on scholarship.
The light of this candle signifies scholarship. Even as the glow of the candle widens the circle of light, every additional bit of information enlarges the horizon on one's world. Scholarship, it has been said, is the power which eliminates ignorance, superstition, prejudice, and fear. Scholarship teaches us of the past so that we may anticipate our future. Nelson Mandela said, "A good head and good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue or pen, then you have something very special."
Albert Einstein put it this way: "We can't solve problems by using the same thinking we used to create them." Although more can be said, we should realize that the values gained from our education repay us 1,000-fold for the time spent in obtaining that education. Education is a springboard by which we become who we are and make differences in the world that we choose to live in. Scholarship is an important ingredient for membership in the National Junior Honor Society. Now, after the blue candle is lit, Krish Mahajan and Reva Mahajan will speak to us on the value of citizenship.
The flame from this candle represents citizenship. Our citizenship implies unity of purpose and unselfishness in striving for the common good. Recognizing ourselves as citizens of our country and the world, we embrace our connectedness and unity with others, and together we strive to build a better tomorrow. In the words of Donnie Jones, when it all boils down, it's about embracing each other's stories and maybe even finding that synergy to collaborate for the common good.
It is here that we learn the principles of citizenship and to love and respect our country and embrace the diversity of our citizens and ideas. It is here that we learn of those before us who have served and represented this country in a responsible and dignified manner. It is here that we learn to appreciate those who made sacrifices for us and to work towards liberty and justice for all. Each of us here must accept the challenge of citizenship. After the red candle is lit, Samantha A.R. and Brody Olashansky will comment on the importance of service.
The light from the red candle represents the unselfish courage of those who give service to our world, school, and community. Should we choose to embrace these ideals, service and doing for others in the world become not simply an activity, but part of who we are. Those who serve others are repaid with satisfaction and a feeling of goodwill and purpose that comes from within. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?
Service really begins with the way we treat each other and the daily examples of how we care for those around us. The concept of service builds goodwill and friendship. As we begin to serve our school and community, our abilities to make a difference in our worlds expand. In the famous words of Mahatma Gandhi, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Now, after the lighting of the yellow candle, Megan Zalmanoff and Noah Kaplan will review the nature of leadership.
Leadership is represented by the yellow candle. Leadership, in order to benefit our world, must proceed from pure and unselfish motives. It requires taking the focus off of self-interest, making a genuine affection for and focus on others, and the ability to sustain and complete a task. Leadership in school is demonstrated in many ways. It may mean taking part in a club, participating in an artistic endeavor such as music, forensics, or art, being on the athletic team, standing up for a principle you know to be right, or simply by leading by a good example.
Not all leaders hold office, but they strive to do right and they lead by their every action. As Ginny Romney said, one of the most important things for any leader is to never let anyone else define who you are. This is the essence of ethical leadership. Today, there is an increasing demand of ethical leadership in every field of endeavor. Principled leaders are needed in government, industry, education, and business. Yet closer to home, good leaders are needed in the hallways of our own school and even during our online interactions. Each of us is challenged by the responsibility of leadership. Be courageous and take on this challenge. After the lighting of the green candle, Lillian Moss and Sasha Zelmanov will discuss growth.
The green candle and its light, combined with the light from the other candles, represents growth. At this special time in our lives, we look towards high school. Our growth and our potential before us is limitless. Each of us here must carry a growth mindset in all aspects of who we are. We must hold the belief that we can grow our talents and our character through planning, hard work, daily choices, embracing an attitude of failing our ways to success and sustained and undeterred effort.
Those actions then reflect who we are by what we do. Each person here must work towards the many qualities that are embodied in growth: honesty, self-assessment, risk-taking, planning, improving our weaknesses as well as our strengths, and grit. We must also see all we strive towards as a continual process of growth. We must not view setbacks or failures as bad or permanent, but rather we must view them as our greatest teachers for growth and as a symbol of the necessary risks needed taken for growth. As growth mindset author, Carl Dweck said simply, "Becoming is better than being." And now, here are your class of 2021 West Hills National Junior Honor Society members.
Before we go, we as the new NJHS members would like to thank several people. Lindsay Zalisman for her inspirational message, Vicki Chandler for producing this wonderful video, Ms. Jones and Ms. Stephen for producing the certificates we will receive, and our teachers for helping us get through this very unique and yet very important milestone year. It has been a school year like no other, full of changes and challenges every step of the way. We all had to become much more flexible and self-reliant than ever before. And yet, I'm sure each of us has a story of someone who was that special person who really helped them get through. Thank you to that special person. You know who you are. In the words of the National Youth Poet Laureate Amanda Gorman, "There is always lights, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it."
But of course, our thank yous wouldn't be complete if we did not thank those at home who were there for us to lean on. And so we say, thank you, parents, guardians, family members, and all loved ones who supported us at home, who were there as we weathered the many changes, who navigated with us the Google Classrooms, the asynchronous learning, and the Zoom links that didn't always work, and who lended us a helping hand and a listening ear along the way. You have made more of a difference than you know. And because of your support, as we go out into the world tomorrow, we are inspired to strive towards our full potential and honor our opportunities by doing for others and the world around us.